Hello YouTube. So a couple of days ago, the new Umi cards were announced. So I'm going to go through them and sort of show some combos with how they can work in the Atlantean Mermail deck, how they can bridge between each other, and so on. So the first one we've got is the big boss of the Daedalus monsters. Well, the main deck one anyway. Daedalus, the dragon deity of Atlantis. It's a level 7 sea serpent. Its name becomes Umi while in the monster zone, and you can only use each of its effects once per turn. If you control Atlantis the Dragon Capital, which is like the field spell of the archetype, or Umi, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can send up to 3 Umi you control. Add cards that mention Atlantis the Dragon Capital from your deck to your hand, up to the number sent. Except a level 7 monster, then you can add one card. Then you can send one card in the field to the graveyard. We've got Bewitching Vortex of Atlantis, level 4 Sea Serpent. Becomes Umi while in the monster zone. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. If it's normal or special summoned, you can send a card that mentions Atlantis the Dragon Capital from your deck to the graveyard and save it itself. And if it's sent to the graveyard while you control Umi, you can special summon a water monster from your hand. Warlord of Atlantis. So it's level 5 Sea Serpent. Becomes Umi while in the monster zone. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. So you can discard it, add a spell or trap that mentions Atlantis the Dragon Capital from your deck to your hand. And if you control Umi while it's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. And the last of the main deck monsters, Master of Atlantis, level 4 Sea Serpent. Its name becomes Umi while in the monster zone. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. If it's normal or special summoned, you can target a monster in your graveyard that mentions Atlantis the Dragon Capital. Special summon it in defense position. And then second effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, send one face up Umi you control to the graveyard, and negate that effect. So it's a good part of an end board there. And we've got the spells. So we've got the field spell itself, Atlantis the Dragon Capital. The levels of all monsters and the hand and field are reduced by 1, while the monster that mentions Atlantis the Dragon Capital is on the field. So it's a little bit of a floodgate, and also can maybe benefit you. But the second effect is the more interesting part. If you would link summon a Daedalus link monster, you can reduce the required number of materials by 1. If you control Umi while this card in your graveyard, you can place it face up on your field. We've got Atlantis Advent. It's a continuous spell. It becomes Umi while in the spell and trap zone. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. During the main phase, you can place one Atlantis the Dragon Capital or one Umi. So this field spell, or I think any of the other ones, because they're all called Umi, even if it's not their printed name. Face up on your field. This card is sent to the graveyard. You can add a level 7 Sea Serpent monster from your deck to your hand. So it can add Daedalus, it can also add Poseidra, or any of the other big mermails, well, most of the other big ones. Atlantis cool. So this is your rotor. Add a monster that mentions Atlantis the Dragon Capital from your deck to your hand. Then if you control Atlantis the Dragon Capital, you can negate one effect monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. If you control Umi, you can banish this card from your graveyard, or water monster you control gain 500 attack and defense. You can only use each effect of Atlantis cool once per turn, and that's a permanent attack and defense gain, which is quite nice. And the last of the main deck cards, it's a counter trap, Daedalus Maelstrom. When your opponent would normal or special summon a monster while you control Atlantis the Dragon Capital, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster's. Then if you control a water link monster, you can destroy all monsters in the field except water monsters. You can banish this card from the graveyard, send a face up Umi you control to the graveyard, and target a monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. You can only use one effect per turn, and only once that turn. So that's the main deck ones, and we've got 2 link monsters as well. So we've got a link 3, or a link 2 if you have the field. So it's link 3, 3 monsters, Sea Serpent. It becomes Umi while in the monster zone. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. If it's link summoned, you can special summon a monster that mentions Atlantis Dragon Capital from your deck. During the main phase, quick effect, you can send one face up Umi you control to the graveyard. Your opponent discards their hand, and if they do, they draw the same number of cards. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this effect activation. So that last line is quite important. It means you can't hand loop your opponent with Drill and Lockbird. Good. I mean, for Yeah, good. We don't want to be doing that. Don't want it happening to us, so that's fine. And then the last one, the link for Azure Ocean Lord Neo Daedalus. It's link 4 monsters, or 3 if you've got the field. It becomes Umi while in the monster zone. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon up to 3 monsters that mention Atlantis, the Dragon Capital, from your graveyard to zones this card points to. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. Once per turn, quick effect, you can send one face-up Umi you control to the graveyard, send all cards on the field to the graveyard, except Umi. So, pretty potent board wipe there, because it destroys back row as well. But none of our other like mermail monsters or anything will be protected, so you've got to be careful there when you use it. So that continuous spell, it can add Umi. So one of the ways that I've discovered that you can bridge is with the Deep Sea Diva field spell. So you can place this Magellanica, the Deep Sea City. I don't have a physical copy, so it's just a proxy at the moment, but it's always treated as Umi, so you can place it from your deck with the continuous one. When it's activated, you can place one water monster from your deck on top of your deck. If you place it with the continuous spell, you won't get that effect because it's been placed, not activated. You can target one water monster you control, increase its level by 1 or 2 until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Once per turn during your main phase, you can special summon a water synchro monster. You can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish one card from it face up until the end of the turn. So this is quite good because it gets a banished card, and then we can do prima donna plays. So the first combo most of the combos are going to be starting off with first penguin. Because now that we've got a lot of much better sea serpents to search than dragoons, to be honest, first penguin became a lot better. So you can reveal the level 5 deep sea Repertoire and search the level 4s. You can also search the level 5 if you play the Bryonic. So I'll show a sort of example combo. So I'll just have a hand of basically nothing live except for first penguin. So we can have them blank cards, 4 blank cards, and first penguin. Alright, so we'll special first penguin because we control no monsters. We'll use its effect, discarding 1, revealing Repertoire to search for a level 4 sea serpent. We'll search for Bewitching Vortex, then we'll normal summon it, use its effect, sending the continuous spell that when sent to the graveyard searches us a level 7 sea serpent. So we'll search Daedalus, and because we control Umi, we can special the Daedalus. We'll use the Daedalus effect, just tributing itself, to search for 1 card that mentions the Dragon Capital. We will search for the level 5 Warlord of Atlantis. We'll discard it to search for Atlantis, the Dragon Capital. Then we will special it back because we control Umi. We'll play Atlantis, the Dragon Capital. So that's reducing all of them by 1 while we control these 2. We will make the link 3 because we can do it with 1 less material. And when he is summoned, we can summon 1 from deck. So we summon the Arm Master. Arm Master, when he's summoned, will summon one from grave. So we'll summon back Daedalus. Then we will make a link 2 with these two level 3s. And this is quite funny. So here we make Cherubini, but we don't use its effect yet. And we'll link Livia Dragon Daedalus and the monster we summoned back off for Ripidocus. And we'll use Ripidocus effect, turning Cherubini into a water monster. Now, Cherubini is pretty funny in that his effect stands for cost. So we'll use his effect, and we will send Shadow Squad. And because it was sent by a water monster, we'll trigger Shadow Squad, summoning Neptibus. And then you can sort of just go off from here. Neptibus can send and do whatever you want. Standard Mermail combo. I'll show you another way that you can do it if you don't want the 2 extra deck slots by playing Mangelica. So go back, just reset everything. There's Penguin and alright, so start off again. We'll special the first penguin. We'll activate the effect, discarding 1. Again, revealing the same repertoire. Getting Bewitching Vortex, normal summon. We'll send Atlantis Advent, searching for the big level 7. Where is it? There it is. Then we will special summon. We'll use the effect, tributing itself to search for the level 5. Then we'll use the level 5 effect to add a second copy of the continuous spell to our hand. And we'll activate it, placing the Deep Diva field spell on the board. Now we'll use the effect to increase this by 2. And we'll synchro for 7. For Prima Donna, we'll trigger the field spell. We get to look at our opponent's hand and do the Deep Sea Minstrel effect, so we'll banish one of their cards. Now, Prima Donna is now live because I've got to banish one, so we'll use the effect, return their banished card to summon Neptibus, and then we can go and continue all the Neptibus combos, and then later on in the turn when we make our links, we can make these and add them as part of the inboard. Yeah, so that's what it brings to the deck. It makes first penguin an awful lot better than it was. It adds more to the inboard because, to be honest, Testudo wasn't really cutting it, especially when a meta where previously Yummy was running around. Now Cool Tune's running around. They can all play under it, so it's good. It also allows Makes this a bit more usable, because there's more ways you control Umi rather than having to play a field spell that does nothing. At least here it helps us with the deck now. Yeah. Let me know if I've missed anything, or if you've got any better lines. I don't really like the idea of playing this. It works, for sure, but it's not amazing. And this does take up 2 extra deck slots, but it is pretty nice, and this is water, so you can use it for links. This sort of clogs up to your EMZ a little bit, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, I'm really excited for these cards, and I'm looking forward to keep experimenting with what they can do for the deck. So, thanks for watching.